me, Nyx, and today we are going to be ranking Epic the Musical. So, a little backstory. This musical has been something that I have been listening to probably for about a year now. And sleeping has absolutely is annoyed with it at this point. I was going to do this stream a little bit towards 5, but sadly, he was supposed to debut today at 9 a.m. and he works for a road department, and we got really bad weather, so he had to be on call. So he's going to be debuting a little bit later. Hopefully everybody joins Sleeping's debut. But I had to move mine up just a little bit so that he can actually have his debut today. So, with all that, let's get started with ranking Epic the Musical. Oh, where am I? There I am. Okay. So I have made my tier list, and it is banger, lives rent-free in my head, great lyrics, great beat, it has its moments, and disliked. And some of these were a dislike, sadly. It was almost more of a skip if my fawns didn't love it. Sorry for hiccups. Alright, so the horse and the infant. I'm going to put that one as a lives rent free in my head. This song, just the beginning of it, is so catchy, and it gets you straight into the musical, and you know exactly what you're getting yourself into, which is amazing. Give me 1 second, chat. I do not understand why Twitch keeps saying I'm playing Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake. I haven't played that game in almost a year. And I have changed it multiple times on Twitch. Every single time I've changed it. So I'm going through and trying to edit this. Let's see if I can edit the stream while I'm actually live. Because I put it on just chatting. But every time I put it on just chatting, it switches right back to Ghost dogs. If anyone has a suggestion of how to actually fix this, that would be amazing because I am tired of it saying the wrong things. Alright, it says edit stream info, and I don't know why it's still saying ghost dogs. Okay. I will be going back and editing that later. But as of right now, let's get back to it. Okay. So, The Horse and the Infant, it's a really good song that gets you into the musical. It's all about the Troy War. And the beat, especially at the very beginning, it has this very fast pace, and then it goes a little bit lower, and then, yeah. Just a Man. Just a Man, I'm putting as a banger. I absolutely love when sorry, got distracted. The fawns keep getting loud over here. Right. So Just a Man. I love the sound of Jorge and Luke singing together. Especially when Jorge starts saying, "Please don't make me do this. Please don't make me do this." And I could raise them as my own. And then you have Luke coming in. He will burn your house down. It was so good. All right. If you hear one of my fawns in the background, she is whispering lyrics. She is more obsessed with this musical than I am, I believe, these days. All right. So, full speed ahead. I'm putting it as a great lyrics, great beat. The beat and the lyrics to this song are amazing. But I just like Just a Man and The Horse and the Infant a little bit better in this saga. Sorry about that. My throat has been dry this week. Drink some water. All right. Full speed ahead. It has probably the best beat out of the whole saga, in my opinion. But the lyrics just were kind of repetitive. And later on, you get a little bit more of the full speed ahead in the other sagas, and I actually kind of like that a little bit better. But as of right now, great lyrics, great beat. Open Arms. I have to say, I don't know if I should have been listening to the songs. I've listened to these songs so many times. I could probably sing the whole song. But I don't know if I should listen to the songs on this stream or just rate them the way I am doing it. Tell me if I'm doing this wrong, and I might go back and redo it And the tier list might change. Who knows? Alright, going back to Open Arms. This song lives rent free in my head. And it's not because I think it's a great, great song. It's the fact that I always wanted to be positive, and this is probably the most positive song out of all of Epic until you get into the Wisdom Saga. And this was the first one where it's like, oh, maybe it's not so dark. And then we get to the Cyclops Saga, and well, we all know he pancaked, didn't we? Don't we? Warrior of the Mind. This song is such a banger. I cannot remember who the singer of Athena is at this moment, but her voice is just something else. It's I don't think they could have casted somebody better for Athena. And then on top of that, you get the whole past of how Odysseus found out that Athena was his godparent and mentor. It truly brought in the whole why are we in a battle with the gods in the first place? I keep getting the hiccups, and I do not know why. So I apologize to this. Alright. I feel like this is going a lot faster than it should be, too. Poly. I don't even know if I can say this word. Poly. Polyphemus? I think that's how you say it. Polyphemus? I'm gonna have to look that one up. Okay, so how to pronounce Polyphemus. Polyphemus. Okay. So Polyphemus. This song is a song that I truly didn't like. Like, it was there. And I know the Cyclops saga is really what brings in most of the plot to this saga, or to this musical. But for some reason, still went back to not saying it right. Okay. Whatever, how do you pronounce this one? It just didn't hit the way a lot of these others that hit in the Troy saga. So I was it was a letdown with this first song, in my opinion. And then, on top of that, I would put Survive as a disliked until about maybe a week to 2 weeks ago. And we listened to this song in the car, and one of my fawns, every single time you heard she screamed pancake. And I was laughing. I could not stop laughing. So every time you heard I would hear them scream pancake in the background. And it was just icing on the cake, basically, for that. So just because of that little memory, Survive has to be put in, it has its moments. Not because of the song, but because of a memory of my kids screaming pancake in the background. All right, remember them. This one was one that I put as great lyrics. This is the first one out of this saga that I actually truly liked. It was more. I was expecting a very sad song when I looked at this title, but it wasn't. It was more of a just remember them when we face other things. And even though they lost, how much was it in the Cyclops saga that they lost? About I'm trying to do the math. Like 24 or 14, I think it was that he lost in the Cyclops saga. So you had the 14 deaths and survive. And instead of saying we give up, it's just we got to remember them. So it was more happy in a way. Then my goodbye. Again, Athena's voice is just something else. She has probably the other than the person that plays Penelope later and Cersei, I think they have the best voice out of this whole saga. But My Goodbye, it truly showed the way of Odysseus truly not caring anymore. Truly, I'm saying truly way too much. What is going on here? Come on, next. Let's fix this. Odysseus has ventured away from the way that Athena wants him to be. Odysseus wants to have more open arms, like what was the kid's name again? That open arms starts with a P. Polites. So Odysseus wants to take the advice of Polites, and he wants to be more nice. Hence the reason why in Remember Me, he didn't kill the Cyclops. He blinded the Cyclops, and then he doxed himself. That is something. He doxed himself at the end of that song. He gave not even, or he gave not only his name, Odysseus, but he said King of Ithaca. He gave a location and his name. And Athena says, you should have killed him. This is going to be bad on you. You should have killed him. And Odysseus is basically like, no, we're nice here. So, My Goodbye, I truly like it. It's the fight between Odysseus and Athena. Calls for some good music. Okay. And then we come across Storm. Storm has some great lyrics in a really good beat. But again, it's one of those that it has better moments. Sorry, I keep getting the hiccups. Why do I keep getting hiccups? I didn't have the hiccups until I got on this stream. What is going on here? Alright. It has great lyrics and a great beat. It has a really catchy tune to it. And the motive that goes with Storm, you can hear it throughout the rest of Epic after this point. Because, especially in later songs like Ruthlessness, you hear it during I can't even say Sherbina, the monster song in the Vengeance Saga, and in Get in the Water and 600 Strike. It comes back a lot in that motif. But great song, great, great lyrics, great beat. That's a song you can really just hop up and down to, almost like in the live stream that Jorge did, where their shoulders just jumped up and down. I wish my model would actually jump up and down like that. That'd be fun. I need to get less stiff. Luck runs out. This song, in my opinion, is a banger. I love the lyrics and I love the beat so much, and it gets stuck in my head and it stays there. It will not leave. And it's almost a hint to the future of he was lucky during the 10-year war with Troy. He didn't lose one person. And then all of a sudden, he just started losing. He lost 14 men 3 songs ago. And then at the end of this, they find the island in the sky. And I just love the voice of the person. Where was my brain? Sorry. So, at the end of Luck Runs Out, they find the island in the sky and they shoot their arrows. And Odysseus. It's really towards this end of the song that makes me love this song so much, because it's like, how many islands have you seen before? It feels like Odysseus is literally saying, oh, what is the captain, or the Eurylochus is not a very smart guy, or he just, maybe he's seen the island before. Who knows? Keep your friends close. This is also a banger in my opinion. This song, I come out singing almost every single day, which makes sleeping upset sometimes. And he just walks away. He does not stay. Because this song, it it just has something. It has something. The beat, the person that plays the wind god Aeolus, her voice again, it's a really good one. And I wish we could hear it a lot more. She is the only goddess from the beginning that only has one song. And she has such a good voice. I wish we would have heard a little bit more of her in God games or something. But this is the song that also Odysseus stayed awake for 9 days. No rest or tidal waves. And they got so close to home. Like, they could see Ithaca. And Eurylochus opens the windbag. Why? Because he thought there was treasure, but as we learn, Eurylochus is truly, I think, the full enemy of Epic. And this song is what really brought that in, is Eurylochus is the downfall of Odysseus because of opening that windbag. Ruthlessness. I might get hated on for this one. I was not a big fan of Ruthlessness. But it has its moments. And I think the person that plays Poseidon's name is Steven. And he has a really, really good voice. It's just, it was there. After you get luck runs out and keep your friends close, Ruthlessness was there. It had its moments where the beat dropped and you got like this really cool grunge sound out of it. And the whole 43 left under your command was sorry, the fawn is behind me and she is really judging me at this moment. um yeah, but the bass drops and then you have that 43 left under your command. That was pure great in that song. But other than that, Ruthlessness, it was an okay song. It has lots of hype. There's those hiccups again. Alright, Puppeteer. Puppeteer has great lyrics and a great beat. Out of this saga, I want to say it was one of a weaker song. But it's the one also at the very beginning. Eurylochus is trying to tell Odysseus that he opened the windbag, and Odysseus, I honestly want to think he knew, but he didn't want to hear that his best friend just killed 553 men, was it? They have 43 left under their command. They had 600. So 547? Where's this math? Give me a second. I want to get this math. They had 16 or 600. 14 died during the Cyclops saga. So that leaves 444. No, 544. And then they had 43 left on the under the command. That means 501 died because Eurylochus opened a windbag. So Odysseus did not want to hear that his best friend just killed 501 people. And then you also get the voice of, I think her name is Tyra, that plays Cersei, and her voice is so great. I don't think he could have got a better Cersei. Alright, wouldn't you like? You're gonna probably hear my little fawn yell at me. I don't like Wouldn't You Like. It is not a good song, and I would skip it if my fawn didn't love this song. Her favorite character is Hermes. And Troy does amazing Hermes. Don't get me wrong. I like Troy's voice. But Wouldn't You Like just didn't hit right for me. It was weird. It and I know that Jorge wanted to have that 80s feel with Hermes, but for some reason after having all the dark, so much dark, and you get hit with this bop, it felt wrong. And it still feels like it should be in a different location than between Puppeteer and Done For. Maybe if it was in a different spot, I think I would have enjoyed this song a little bit more, but it didn't really do anything, in my opinion. We could have figured out that he got the moly from Hermes in a whole different way. Alright. Moving on from that rant. Done For. This song lives in my head. This song, especially if you watch the animatics, you can hear the battle with this song between Cersei and Odysseus, especially whenever he said, "You turn them into pigs." Like, how can that be a nice thing? You turn them into pigs. And she just brushes it off. But you also have the whole story of Cersei of why she turned the people into pigs. Where she said, "My nymphs are like my daughters. I protect them at all costs. The last time we let strangers in, we faced a heavy loss." The lyrics there and the way she sung it, it was so pretty. And it brings me into There Are Other Ways. This song, in my opinion, is a banger. I love this song. You have going from Done For straight into There Are Other Ways. It sounds like the song should actually be together, but it's not. Sorry, hiccups again. I don't know what is going on with these hiccups. They need to go away. But There Are Other Ways. the way that Tara sings this song is so amazing. And then you have the melody between Odysseus and Circe. Circe wants to, with Odysseus. And then he actually, I want to say, almost did. And then he said, I can't. And then you hear Penelope's motive. It was just like a nice little touch. And then you have the back at home, my wife awaits for me. She's my everything, my Penelope, and she's all my power. That is so beautiful. And the way he sung it was so amazing. If I had to say anything about the Circe saga, it probably would be one of my favorites until you get a little bit later on. There's another saga that I like a little bit better. But Circe's saga is right there. Troy was good. Troy's saga was pretty good. But just because of Dunfort and There Are Other Ways, those two songs for me bring out that whole saga as something else. Alright. Now we're coming across one of the, I honestly want to say one of the best sagas of Epic. But there's only 3 songs, so he had time to work on this saga a little bit more. So, The Underworld. This song, it lives in my head rent free. You not only get Polites back, you get Odysseus not liking the fact that he threw the infant over the wall. He keeps thinking about the infant. You get Polites with open arms. And then you get the heart wrenching story of Odysseus's mom in the underworld. And I don't know if you know the true story of Odysseus's mom, but she killed herself because Odysseus never came home. So the fact that he saw her in the underworld, it kind of broke me with the Odyssey. Like, she walked into the ocean and just stayed there. But you also, you get the all I hear is screams. And whenever I get frustrated, fun story, I just scream out loud. All I hear are screams. And again, sleeping does not like me because of how much I quote this musical sometimes. It, I don't know. He's just gonna have to deal with it. It's not going away. It's not going away anytime soon. I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to listening to the cut songs. So, yeah. That was a little rant. Let's go back into this. Alright. No Longer You. This song is a banger. Mason does such a good job with being Oh, what's the name? It's the prophet, but what is the prophet? It's the prophet, but I don't know what the prophet's name is. I I used to know because I've been obsessed with the Odyssey for a while. But at the moment it has just like flown over my head. But no longer you. Mason does such a good job with this prophet song. And then you also have the fact that Odysseus is almost an airhead in this song. He is so smart, but when it comes down to this song, the prophet says every single thing that's going to happen to him, and he just doesn't listen. Maybe that's just the man in him. Get it? Just a man. Sorry. But the prophet's giving the whole story to Odysseus is about what's going to happen to the future and how the person that actually shows up to Ithaca is no longer him. So Odysseus is actually a kind and caring person still at this moment. But by the time he gets to Ithaca, which is in like 4 sagas, he's changed. He's no longer the same person that he was back in the song Open Arms or My Goodbye. Better yet, because he was still a warrior in Open Arms. And then also the whole whoo part where he sounds like an owl. I love that. Monster is a song that lives rent free in my head. And it's not just the song that lives rent free, it's also the I'm a monster, rah 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 part that lives rent free in my head. But this song, it plays on top of No Longer You. Odysseus did not listen to one word that the puppeteer said. And he literally just said, well, if I'm not going to make it home, I'll become a monster and make myself make it home. Which is exactly what the puppeteer said was going to happen. And again, Odysseus is not listening. Sorry, I needed more water on that one. Suffering. I have to say, suffering is what truly got me into Epic. Like, I lost it a little bit around the time of the Cyclops saga. I started with the Troy saga, but the Cyclops saga, I kind of dropped it. And Suffering brought me back in because I kept seeing it everywhere. And I want to say this one has great lyrics and a great beat. I love the fact that the siren is trying to act like Penelope. And at first, Odysseus is actually acting like or actually the whole song he's acting like he believes her. But the whole you know I'm scared of the water. This man has been on the water for over 10 years now. There is no way he's scared of it. And the fact that the I can't even say the word siren. The siren knew that he was married to a girl named Penelope. He wouldn't you think that they would know that he's been on the water for a while? Wouldn't the ship actually look like it's been on water for a while? It just kind of makes no sense to me the more I think about it. And the siren knew he had a child, even though the siren said daughter instead of son. So yeah, Suffering has great lyrics and a great beat. That's it. Different Beast. It plays off of Suffering, but it has its moments. Like the whole he is a different beast now. It was okay. I kind of like the part of cut off their tails. We're ending this now. Throw their bodies back in the water, watch them drown, and then you hear all of them screaming. That was a little bit. That was a good plot. It truly showed the monster that he has become. Scylla. Scylla's one of these that I'm going back and forth of do I dislike it or does it have its moments? It's there. Like it's probably the biggest plot you're going to get because like I don't know which one to put this in. I'll put it here. It was a turning point in Odysseus where he's finally said, I'll do anything to go home. He literally sacrificed 6 people. And he almost sacrificed his best friend Eurylochus, but I honestly think the man deserved it. If it wasn't for him, none of this would happen. Like, the windbag was all the way up here. We've gone through 3 sagas because he decided to open up the windbag. So, I honestly think Eurylochus deserved this. And he deserved to actually be a sacrifice, but sadly, he was not. He dropped the torch in fear. Man, these hiccups. What is going on here? Okay. Mutiny. Mutiny is the epic battle between brothers and friends. This is where the story truly goes, okay, Odysseus's men don't trust him anymore. I mean, he did just sacrifice 6 men. But for some reason, everybody trusts Eurylochus more than Odysseus at this point. I don't understand how 501 people die and they're okay with it. But 6 people die and they're like, nah, let's not do this. But Mutiny, I like this song a little bit because of the end of it. Where it brings back in that motive of luck runs out. How much longer till your luck runs out? People died under your command. And then on top of that, at the very end of it, where it brings into the end of luck runs out, where please don't tell me you're about to do what I think you'll do. And Eureka says, Odie, we're never going to make it home. You know it's true. And you could really truly hear in Odysseus's voice, he is pleading, please don't do this. Please don't do this. Then, of course, Eurylochus, being Eurylochus, kills the cow, or tries to, because the cow's immortal. And then you come back with full speed ahead towards the very end of it. And there you have Odysseus screaming faster. It was just a good song. I can go on and on about Mutiny. This was a good song. And we come into Thunderbringer. It is a great lyric, great beat. I like Thunderbringer, and I like Luke's voice. I've already said that, but for some reason, Thunderbringer was one of those that it doesn't stick in my head very much. I would rather sing all the other songs. But whenever Thunderbringer comes up, I will sing along to it. Especially the part Lightning willed her. Yeah. Okay. Again, I have to talk about the story of this saga. The Wisdom Saga, at the beginning, I absolutely hated this saga. And the reason for is I didn't realize it was told in Telemachus's point of view. I thought it somehow went back in time, and I was like, what is going on? And we were listening to Odysseus being young, which the fact that Maiko sounds like Odysseus being young is amazing. But I listened to it in the car. I never really watched any of the animatics. So whenever I was able to watch the animatics, it clicked into me that this is actually Telemachus when he's 20 years old. Now, knowing that, this is one of my favorite sagas. All because of the songs Legendary and We'll Be Fine. But, getting into that, Legendary lives in my head rent free. I love this song. It, again, when I first listened to it, it weirded me out that it thought it was Odysseus being young. But now knowing that it's Telemachus trying to be like his father, it's a lot better. And I love the part where it goes, give me sirens and a cyclops, give me Hydra. I got that wrong. Give me sirens and a cyclops. And a Hydra. Yeah. Give me sirens and a cyclops, give me Cerberus and a Hydra. I know life and fate are scary, but I want to be. And then he goes, legendary. But you have every monster that Odysseus has fought I mean, he never fought the Hydra in Epic the Musical. But, or is Scylla considered a Hydra? Is Scylla a Hydra? Give me a second. Okay, so Scylla is technically considered a water dwelling Hydra. I did not put that together until just now. Okay, so this song has every monster that Odysseus has to face to get home. Cerberus doesn't show up until a little bit later, but and we didn't know that at the time. But every single monster is in this song. And then the final monster is the suitors living in Odysseus's castle, trying to get the heart of Penelope. This song just really showed that it felt like a kid wanting to be stronger for his mom and be more like his dad with the stories that he's been told. It's a kid trying to become a man, which I kind of liked. And then we come into the song of Little Wolf. Now, almost every single song that has Athena in it, I have put lives rent free or banger, but this one was great lyrics, great beat. It was just so repetitive. The repetitive sounded good, but it said was fight little wolf, scratch wolf, I think. Over and over and over. And then even when Athena comes in, she just sings the same thing. There was no really change. I did like the part whenever Athena did come in, though. You have Telemachus. What's going on here? Alright. We'll be fine. This song to me is a banger. I love this song, especially the fact that Athena calls Odysseus friend in this song. Back whenever we heard My Goodbye, she said you were looking for or I was looking for a general, you were looking for a friend. She was saying we're not friends. Here, she said I had a friend once and he was a lot like you. That that was a good plot. I like that. And then you have Telemachus. Again, a lot like his father. Not understanding that the friend that she was talking about is his father. Because he says, I don't know your friend in it. So just like Odysseus and no longer you, not understanding the prophet, Telemachus doesn't understand that the whole time Athena's singing, she's singing of Odysseus. Again, Telemachus also doesn't know that Odysseus is still alive, and Athena does. No, that's wrong. She hopes he's still alive. But either way, this song, in my opinion, is a banger, especially You're a Good Kid. Thanks. and they high five in the animatics. And that's a funny one too, because in the animatics, in the song Warrior of the Mind, Odysseus wants to have a high five with Athena. And Athena does not give him a high five. And We'll Be Fine, Athena gives him a high five, which truly shows that Athena's changing too. Her mindset's going more into the have open arms idea instead of you fight to the death. Maybe she doesn't want to be alone anymore. All right, Love in Paradise. It has its moments. And when I mean it has its moments, I would actually put it closer up here. It has its moments than back here, but okay, now it's letting me. This song, it starts off with Athena, old friend. It's been 7 years since I've last saw you, and you hear, remember me. And then you hear, you've made your one last move and you're done for. A song of past romance. We won't take more suffering from you. And then towards the end, but Captain, we'll die. I know. Which brings me back to Thunderbringer. I'm glad Odysseus did that, by the way. His crew, at that point in time, you had mutiny, but none of them listened to him. He said, don't do it. Don't do it. And Eurylochus, he had the audacity of telling Odysseus, Eurylochus had the audacity to tell Eurylochus, what is going on with my mouth? It's not saying the right words. Eurylochus had the audacity to ask Odysseus not to kill the rest of the men. He begged for his life when he killed 501 people and blamed Odysseus for it. No. All right, back to Love in Paradise. Okay. The person that sings Calypso, her voice is great. It felt very more persuasive than what other ways were with Love in Paradise. I love the fact, though, where Odysseus says, I'm no pet, I'm a married man. That got me a little bit. I like that part. And then you have the All I Hear Is Screams at the end of this song. Really, the end of this song is what truly has the best moment. You have All I Hear Is Screams every time I close my eyes. And then Calypso tries to say, come into my open arms. And then all of a sudden you hear Polites singing Open Arms. And you hear his mom singing Waiting. And back to Odysseus screaming, all I hear are screams. And then at the very end, he screams for Athena, and Athena realizes he truly never left her. That is the only moment of that song that I truly liked, though. It had that one moment. It's a good moment, but it was that moment. God Games. Again, I know a lot of people like God Games. And some people say it's one of the best songs out there, but I would say it just has great lyrics and a great beat. I like the fact that you hear Apollo and Hephaestus and Aphrodite and Ares. Hera was fun because Hera, Zeus's wife, and Zeus is known to cheat, and the only reason why she let Odysseus go is because he never cheated. That was fun. Um, then you have Luke's voice again at the very end of Thunderbringer. There was just a lot going on in that song. It had really good beat, and the fact that the beat changed throughout every god was pretty cool. But that's all it really had going for it. Hold on one second. I'm going to drink some water. All right. Now we're getting into the Vengeance Saga. And other than the Cyclops Saga, I want to say this is my least favorite saga. It wasn't great, really. So, starting off with Not Sorry for Loving You, it had its moments. It's almost one of those that I would put under disliked. But it had its moments. Especially with Calypso's and Odysseus finally saying, I love you. And she's like, You do? But not in the way you want me to. It had its moments. That's all I can really say. Dangerous is another one that had its moments. It wasn't great. I like the part where Hermes says, Don't open the windbag because inside this windbag it holds Poseidon's storm and you will never make it home. He literally says, Don't open it. You opened it last time. Don't do it. It had a catchy beat. I will say that. It was okay. Nothing against Troy. I like Troy's voice. It's just there. It's just another one of those that if you took it away from it, it was been okay in my opinion. He could have got the windbag somehow different. And I get it. Hermes is the messenger god. He gives the stuff. But I felt like we could have gotten a little bit more out of Hermes. And we're going to move into Cerberus. Again, has its moments. This is the monster that Hermes mentioned. And then you get the already know your tactics. You fight, you swallow water. Oh, I can't remember those lyrics. Exactly. It has its moments. Um I like that at the end of the song there, I see it. The island I've been waiting for. Home, I've reached it. My wife and son are past this shore. And then all of a sudden you hear, No! And you hear the song Storm, or the motif for Storm, come in. Get in the water. This is the first one that I'll actually say is great lyrics, great beat out of this saga. This song, the only reason why I put it great beat, great lyrics, great beat, is because it plays off of suffering a little bit. And I like the part of, if you don't get in the water, I'll raise the tide so high that all of Ithaca, or yeah, I'll raise the tide so high all of Ithaca will die. And then you have the part where he says, I'll watch your wife and your son drowned." It was good. Again, I think Poseidon, the person that sings Poseidon, is Steven. And his voice is really good. It's just, for some reason, the songs just didn't do much for me. 600 Strike. I dislike this song. It just was there. It showed a lot. It showed the defeating of Poseidon. Don't But you had a little bit of the motifs going from open arms and captain from the underworld. But it just, I think the best part was Poseidon screaming as he was getting stabbed. And at the very end, he asked, "How will you sleep at night?" And Odysseus actually said, "Next to my wife." I thought that was nice. But the song, it wasn't great. And now we're coming across the final saga. This one is one that is, it's the newest one, of course. So everybody that likes epic should have listened to it by now. And I will say, I really enjoyed this saga. It has some really good songs. But you gotta have that trigger warning, especially with that second song in the saga. It was rough. So, challenge. We'll start with challenge. This song is a banger. It doesn't just get stuck in my head. I can sing this song basically without any music behind it. And I think her name was Anya that plays Penelope. Her voice is perfect for this. I've also always loved the story of the true challenge that she put up, where you have, oh, how many suitors were there? 200 suitors? Am I wrong? 3? Let me look that up. 108 suitors. There was 108 suitors that all wanted the hand of Penelope. So she created this challenge But before she created the challenge, she told them that she would create a wedding shroud. The wedding shroud, once was done, she would choose a husband. But she weaved every day and then undid what she weaved during the night. In the true story, Artemis, I think that's how you say his name, he's one of the suitors, finds out that she is actually unweaving the shroud. But in this epic, it doesn't say if he truly knew or not. But, sorry, hiccups again. They're not going away. But the challenge is that her husband's old bow, or Odysseus's bow, it is a tough bow to string. That only one person has ever strung this bow. And that one person was Odysseus. Even Telemachus cannot string this bow. So, if they could string the bow and shoot it through 12 axes, which is something that Odysseus could do, that she would finally marry that person. In the true story of the Odyssey, Odysseus is actually in the room. She hears Penelope, he hears Penelope give this challenge, but Penelope doesn't know that he is there, because he had Athena make him look like an old man. Sorry, the fawns. Give me a second. So Athena makes him look like an old man, and Odysseus goes back into the castle where only a few people recognize him. But in this case, I don't know if Odysseus was there or not. It doesn't really say. But going back into Anya's voice for Penelope, the whole part of who I didn't think it would be the lengths we go for love. I feel like she did kind of know he was there. She also said the storm that was so close, and oh, could it be that, I don't know. I think it's a hit or miss if I knew if she was there or not. Or he was there. Why did I say she? I can't talk today. What is going on? Alright. Yeah. Maybe she knew that he was there. Because that, oh, could it be that it's finally time for the challenge I've arranged? I don't know. Only Jorge knows, I guess, at this point. He needs to tell us. Was he there or was he not? Hold them down. This one has its moments. This is the song that has a trigger warning. And I truly probably think that the person that plays, think you say the name Artemis? is the suitor that sings this song, Artemius or something like that. I bet you it was hard for him to sing some of this song. It's you not only have hold him down while I slit his throat, hold him down, and then you have the part where he talks about cutting him up into pieces and throwing his body into the ocean. And when the crown wonder where's the princess, only the ocean and him will know. It's something. But then you also have the part where he talks about once the prince is dead, he'll go into Penelope's room and not do nice things. I'm going to try to keep this PG. Not do nice things to her while holding her down. But luckily, this one actually shows that Odysseus was the whole time listening. And some of the animatics are really cool. I don't know if you've seen some of the newer ones. I love the one where Artemis he throws the bow, and where he throws the bow is right there at Odysseus, and every now and then you could see him stringing the bow in the background. That was a really good animatic. Um, at the end of it, he does die. So I like that. Whenever I first listened to this, because the live stream did not work on Christmas Eve, so I listened to it without the live stream on Spotify. And I could hear the blood, and I just started clapping. It's like, yay, he's dead. Alright. Odysseus. So, sorry about that. The fawn was back there laughing at things that I was saying. Alright. Odysseus. This song is a banger. I love this song. It has so many different beats. You have the person that goes, "We're up against an archer. Our only hope is to strike them in the darkness." You don't. We have the odds, or we know these halls. The odds can be tilted, and then you hear, "You don't think I know my own palace? I built it." That's one part. That is a great part. And then you have Old King, forgive us instead. Let's have open arms instead. And then slash. No. Again, plays off of that whole open arms thing. And Monster, where he wants open arms. Now he's a monster. And no, you can't have any of that. And then at the towards the end of this song, you hear Telemachus's motive, but it's mixed with Athena's motive, which watching it was a lot better than listening to it. Because listening to it, I honestly thought it was Athena. Started like clapping, like, because she was supposed to be dead after God Games. She was not dead, I thought. So I thought that was Athena, and then it was just Telemachus, and he left the leper talking again. It's not working for me today. He left the weapons room unlocked. But in the song, you hear, "Get off me, get off me." If you watch the animatic, you know he's fighting. But if you just listen to it, it sounds like the suitors are actually winning. But in the animatic, he's actually fighting, and he's actually a pretty good fighter now. Athena did a good job with him. So, sorry, lost the train of thought there. Finally, Telemachus actually gets caught by one of the suitors. I don't know which one it is because Artemius, I can't say that name, is dead. So I don't know what suitor finally caught Telemachus, but then Odysseus stabs him, and he tries to say, "Mercy, mercy." And Odysseus says, "My mercy has all but drowned. It died to bring me home. As long as you're around, my family's fate is unknown. You plotted to hurt my son, or kill my son, and rape my wife. So all of you must die." That, and the grunge in that. Oh, I loved that. The grunge in that voice. But this song was definitely a banger throughout the whole song. And then we're going to go to I Can't Help But Wonder. I Can't Help But Wonder is a great song. It lives a little bit rent free in my head. I cry almost every time I hear this song now. I don't know why. At first, I did not, and then my brain just started thinking about all of it, and now I can't help but not cry. So it brings that emotion out of me. I don't know why though. Um, but I can't help but wonder. It's such a good song. It's where Telemachus finally gets to see his dad after he just killed all the suitors. By the way, so this man's probably covered in blood. Um, but Odysseus gets to see his son for the first time in 20 years because in the original Odyssey, the day that Telemachus was born was the day he went to war. So he held Telemachus in his arms for one day, and then Odysseus went to war. So now he's seeing this little baby, and this baby is now a man. So that whole scenario was tearjerker. But the what lives rent free in my head is when you have the motif for Athena come back in. And it brings back that whole thing from Warrior of the Mind of show yourself. I know you're watching me. Show yourself. You were never one for hellos. And then Athena's beautiful voice of I can't help but wonder what this world would be if we helped each other with a little more empathy. I can't help but wonder if I led you astray. But, and then Odysseus replies with, if that world exists, it's far from here and is way beyond my years. So it's one I'm going to have to miss because there's a girl I have to see. Something like that. But it's just, it's so good. That song is a definitely lives rent free in my head. And you have all three of them there. You have Temelicus at the very beginning, which is Myco. Myco's voice is sounds like a young Odysseus. Absolute to the T. You have Odysseus, which is Jorge. Jorge has sung every single song, and the fact that he's been able to go from the horse and the infant to I can't help but wonder, and he was able to do so many different beats and so many different ranges throughout this whole musical has been astonishing. But then you have Athena, which I've said multiple times over now that one of her voice is one of the best voice out of this whole musical. It's just so oh, what's the word? It's just beautiful. That's the only way I can actually just describe it. It feels safe. But having all three of them there, it's something. All right, we're on our final song. And I would like to say this one, in my opinion, is a banger. It has its moments where I'm like, okay, it's kind of boring. But overall, this song, Would You Fall in Love with Me Again, is absolutely beautiful. Especially whenever you have Odysseus saying, I'm not the man you knew. I'm not your kind and gentle husband. He admits that he left basically everyone dead in his path. And sorry, the hiccups are back. Let's see if that got rid of them. Okay. Where was I? Would you fall in love with me? You have the fact that Odysseus has just admitted to everything that he did. And then Penelope asked him, if that's true, can you do me a favor? Just a moment of labor. Lift that wedding bed over your shoulder and take it far away from here. And then all of a sudden, Odysseus comes back. How could you say this? I built that wedding bed with my blood and sweat. Built it into that olive tree where we first met. A symbol of our love everlasting. You don't know what you have asked me. The only way to move it is to carve it from its roots. And then you have Penelope scream at him, only my husband knew this, so I guess that makes him you. It really brought into that he thinks of himself as a monster. And after admitting to every single thing that he did, Penelope still says, you're still you. You're the person I married. Especially whenever you get into her, I will fall in love with you again, no matter where, when, how, or when. I will fall in love with you again, no matter how, when, where, when, no matter how long it's been. You are my husband. It just, that part gets me a lot too. I will, hold on one second. So sorry about that. Had a telemarketer just call me, and it was difficult to get them off the line. All right, where was I though? Oh, would you fall in love with me? I believe I ended up with the only my husband knew that, so I guess that makes him you. That she screamed, and it basically screams she forgave him, that he's always going to be her husband no matter what happens. But also, I will fall in love with you over and over again. I don't care how, where, or when, no matter how long it's been. You're mine. Don't tell me you're not the same person. You're always my husband, and I've been waiting. And she says waiting. I think they say 9 times, which is 9 sagas. And she says it for 20 seconds. And it's been 20 years. So 9 sagas, she says waiting 9 times. And then for 20 years, she sings it for 20 seconds. That is just creative on Jorge's part. That was so genius. And then also, if you watch the animatic of Gigi, I absolutely love that animatic. And she did great. She did colors for the first time. I loved it. But that is my tier list. I have 3 in my disliked, which was polymorphous. I can't say the name. Don't hold me to it. Wouldn't you like? And 600 strike. In my, it has its moments. Love in Paradise, Survive, Ruthlessness, Different Beast, Scylla, Not Sorry for Loving You, Dangerous, Cerberus, and Hold Them Down. Great lyrics, great beat, full speed ahead, remember them, Storm, Puppeteer, Suffering, Thunderbringer, Little Wolf, God Games, Get in the Water, and my lives in rent free in my head is The Horse and the Infant, Open Arms, My Goodbye, Done For, The Underworld, Monster, Mutiny, Legendary, I Can't Help But Wonder, and then my banger list. And if you notice, there's more bangers here than there are um, the lower ranks. But my bangers are Just a Man, Warrior of the Mind, Luck Runs Out, Keep Your Friends Close, There Are Other Ways, No Longer You, Will Be Fine, The Challenge, Odysseus, and Would You Fall in Love with Me Again? Hiccups again. Alright, this is my ranking. And if you don't like it, you're welcome to say something. But I am gonna have to end the stream here so that I can go make the fawn some food. And also, I think my lights are flickering, which is not a good sign. So I need to go make the food a little bit quick so that we can eat. Because of the weather, everything's probably running a little bit slower. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And you can catch me on X. I'm always tweeting on there or posting. I don't know what they say these days. you can catch me on YouTube. I'm starting to create a TikTok. I don't know. But if you don't have anything later to do, Sleeping is going to be doing his debut sometime today. It might be a little bit later in the day. But go pop in, give him some encouragement because he is excited but so nervous. Have a great day. I don't know if I want to call you Chat, if I want to call you Owls or my Starlights. But no, you are very bright.